The film opens with a man named Morales. He is a lecturer at a university. Morales also has a hobby of writing, and has created many works. Lately, Morales has often been terrorized, and it seems like someone is watching him. He even often gets sentences that are in a book, and until now Morales doesn't know who did it. Morales used to be married to a woman named Julia. They already have a child from that marriage. Even though they have been divorced for a long time, Morales and Julia still have a good relationship and still meet often. They even often make out when they meet. Even though they realize that their relationship is over, and it is impossible to go back to how it used to be. Every day, Morales is increasingly terrorized by someone. Morales always finds those writings everywhere, whether on paper, on the street, even in his car. It is not clear who the perpetrator is. Even the security forces don't know who did it. As a writer, Morales often comes to a seminar. Coincidentally, there is a woman named Carmen there. Apparently Morales knows her even though it is only an acquaintance and not too close. One day, Morales got another piece of paper, but this time he was asked to come to a place. Morales rushed there, but the officer there also didn't know what the piece of paper meant, and didn't know who put it. That night, Morales had dinner at a Chinese restaurant, where he was approached by a Chinese woman named Li. She gave him a brown envelope containing the same piece of paper as the one he received before. Until one day Morales was asked to come to a library. There he would meet the person who had been sending the writings. Morales was surprised. It turned out that the person was someone who worked at the Chinese restaurant he often visited. Sure enough, he was Li. Apparently Li was a big fan of Morales. All of his works had been read and Li liked them. And he had also been watching Morales from a distance for a long time. After that, Morales was invited to go for a walk, and he also discussed Morales' writings. Even Li was very open to Morales, and honestly, he was a lover of others. Morales didn't mind at all. They were together until the evening, and Morales also invited Li to come to his house. Even though Li is different, in the end Morales invites Li to be intimate, and hopes Li can recover and live normally again. While Li also admits that this experience is really different, not like before when he used to be intimate. The closer the relationship between Morales and Li gets, they are often together and of course often make out many times. Li also begins to realize and begins to want to live a normal life with a partner like people in general. Li also invites Morales to visit the house, and introduces him to his grandfather and also his cousin named Bei. But it seems, Bei doesn't like Morales' arrival there. Their closeness is getting closer and they make out almost every day. Until one day, a problem arises. Li says that their relationship is too far and they shouldn't be like this. Li reminds him again that he is a violin teacher. But Morales doesn't care, and will try to change Li to be better. In the end, Li leaves him, while Morales, who has fallen in love with Li, doesn't want to lose him. He kept looking for Li, but couldn't find him. Until one night, he saw Li soaked from the rain. Morales then approached her and took her home. In the end, they made up and made out again many times. That night, Li told all her past, and said she could be like this because of Bei. Bei used to force her to be intimate. And since then, Li hated all men and became like this. But since Li met Morales, her eyes began to open, and not all men were like Bei. Li found true love again. But for some reason that night, Li disappeared again, who knows where. Morales was confused, and he went back to looking for Li. Morales couldn't find Li here and there, including at his grandfather's house. Even one of Li's friends was also visited by Morales. She was Glenda. There, Glenda said that she knew everything and would help Li. Until one morning, Morales went to an event for famous writers. And it turned out that Li was also there, but not long after, Carmen came there, and said that Li was with her. They planned to leave this city and live together. Morales couldn't do much. Even though Li had been persuaded to come back with him, Li still refused, and this was his choice. A few days later, when Morales finished his writing, Li suddenly came there. Maybe he wanted to go back to Morales or just say goodbye. But Morales didn't want to meet him, because he didn't want his feelings for Li to deepen and end more painfully. In the end, Morales chose to bury his love for Lee, and the film ended.